All right, welcome everyone to tonight's incredibly special call. We have the one and only Jason Laigo here, who's going to provide massive value to you here on this call. I know I get his name wrong every single time, and he corrects me every single time. But with that said, so good to have you here. Everyone who's on the call here with me, let me know in the comments box if you can see and hear us loud and clear. Jason, I know you can hear me, so that's the first step. Let us know in the comments box if you can see and hear us loud and clear. And with that said, we're just going to go ahead and dive in. If you guys were on the call last week with the fabulous Keisha LaShawn, you guys know that these calls really, once again, are just here to provide value to you. We're not here to sell you anything. We're not here to really promote anything too hard. We do have an upcoming event that Jason's going to be one of the awesome speakers at. And with that said, we'll probably talk about that for a few minutes here, but this is not going to be a sales pitch. This is not some elaborate sales presentation designed to sell you something when you don't really know what's going on. And really, we're just here to have some fun, enjoy each other's company, bring a ton of value to you in the process. And at the end of the day, hopefully leave you with a few golden nuggets that allow you to completely and totally transform your life and go from wherever you are to wherever you want to be. So with that said, it looks like people can see and hear us loud and clear. I'm getting yeses, excited, can see and hear. Les, Cindy, Lindsay, Rob, Monica. Good to see so many people on here. Norma, Damian, James, Earn Success LLC. I love the name, Earn Success LLC. Would love to know your own personal name as well. Cindy, Antonio, good to see so many people on here. Thank you guys for hopping on. And with that said, Jason, how you doing, my friend? How's everything going on?
Very well, sir. Doing well. Busy, much like yourself, right?
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for spending a couple minutes on here tonight with myself here. I know we are both extremely busy, and I know that it's, you taking time out of your day to give value to our audience here, and I absolutely do appreciate it. And with that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. And Jason, I'll go ahead and start with, I know most of the community here absolutely knows who you are and absolutely loves you. You provide a ton of value when it comes to, your calls that you hop on with Amber, your daily freedom calls, etc., and so much more than just that. But for the few people on here that might not know who you are, what your backstory is, where you came from, etc., why don't we get them filled in on who you are and then also why they should listen to you when you drop the bomb golden nuggets on here?
Sure, I can try. I mean, I think you said it all, right? It's hard to follow that intro. I appreciate the kind words. But no, I'm just a guy who tries to provide value and tries to be committed to the community, And so as for me personally, I'm a full-time affiliate marketer, internet entrepreneur, like many of us are, and the rest of us aspire to be and want to be. But I'm a guy who got started in the home business, online business space, even before it was online. So I think you and I share a little bit of similarity in that regard, where we kind of we're biz op junkies and seminar junkies, and kind of the guy who, I love to stay up late and watch infomercials, and I would borrow and steal my dad's credit card to buy all the offers online and, and that kind of thing. But I've always been a student of the game in that regard. And so ultimately that just led me to wanting to be an entrepreneur. And I knew that if I was going to do that, then I had to be good at sales, because sales is the $1 million skill. I didn't think really early on, I recognized that all the coolest authors and most amazing people that I would follow and try to learn from, all of their books didn't say best speaking author, right? It didn't say best most intelligent book. It said best selling book. And I thought, okay, there's probably some truth in that. So I learned how to sell and took a lot of jobs to get to where I was making actually some money doing it while trying to build a business and not being successful, quite frankly. And then as fate would have it, continue to work my way up to the commercial bank, working for one of the largest financial institutions in the world. But I knew that was kind of there's a really big commitment there. It was really hard to enjoy quality of life, working that kind of a grind, corporate grind, especially with what's happened in the world recently and, the crash of 2008 and things like that. I mean, it's just been, I've seen quite a few cycles, but all the while I kept that entrepreneurial bug. Ultimately found myself doing some form of internet marketing. Started with drop shipping way back when, back when it was profitable. It still is, but it was
old days.
Yeah, that's right. But it was different. But ultimately found myself doing affiliate marketing, found initial success, then found SAN, and then found a lot of success. And the rest is history, as they say. And so since that time, being part of the community, I've been able to step into a leadership and a coaching role, which I didn't ask for. It's just kind of some people identified and said, would you like to give it a shot? They liked what I had to say and kept having me back. And one of my greatest pleasures in being part of the community and having my own internet marketing business is now I also get to do a lot of coaching and teaching, which is where my passion truly lies, and been hopping on calls and coaching calls with Sand for over a year now. It's hard to believe.
Yeah. So time flies, right? It is crazy. I was actually thinking about that when I was writing up the emails that are hopefully going out as we host this call here. But it has been just about a year. And just, I mean, when it comes to whole, talking about timelines, et cetera, everyone always sees the end result of the successful entrepreneurs. Everyone sees, God, Jason's making 6 figures. Misha's doing this. Keisha's doing that, et cetera. And I know you kind of outlined the journey just a little bit. And I know throughout that journey, just everything was incredibly easy and there was never a tough time and everything just kind of flowed naturally to you and money just kind of gravitated your way, right? Like everyone assumes. But in all seriousness, the truth is usually there's nothing further from the truth. Usually you have to absolutely, as one of my mentors says, embrace the suck when you're first getting started. And you have to grind out those initial kind of usually months or years, usually actually. And so what did that time frame look like for you? What were some of the struggles that you went through? How long did it take you to break through? And what did that whole process look like? Just so people can kind of identify maybe if they're not in, the best spot as of right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. Right. I mean, this is the not attractive, non-sexy part of the business, right? And of the presentation, because it's like, it's kind of like working out, right? You can't really, you have to embrace the suck. You're not going to get in great shape overnight. Like one salad's not going to make you ripped. Right. And coming out of the pandemic, man, I got to say, I put on some pounds and I'm in that position now. But, in terms of drawing a parallel to build our own business, I mean, it's really very, very similar. So I mentioned that I got started way back when, just trying to find an opportunity that worked, and that was a rough going. But then when you couple finding some businesses and actually seeing some initial success, but needing more help, and having to put in more resources to get into the next level, I mean, that was the constant cycle, I feel like. And so for me, I think that like before I've been involved with Sand for a couple of years now, maybe approaching the excess part of 2 years. But before then, man, I'd see, a couple of hits here and there, maybe one or two high ticket things. And then sometimes it was the company that would go under or something like that, or some other misfortune. So, I mean, that whole process probably was a vicious cycle for about 2 years, where I'd get something and find a little bit of traction and the rug would be pulled out under me, or I'd get a little bit of traction and was too much in my own way to break through to the next level. Sometimes it was my inexperience, the things that you really can't control. Other times it was me not willing to listen. But all in all, yeah, it was a vicious cycle for a couple of years. So when someone says, can you crush it and make it 6 figures your first week, your first month? I mean, I'm sure there are people who could do it, but they're the exception, not the rule. Not even the great Misha Wilson and his mentors can do it, I don't think,
Not even close.
Long way to answer your question, but it's constantly a learning curve, right? I mean, even to get to the next level, even if you're ready. So now, if you're making $1,000 a month handily, that's great. But now you've got to do some growing to make it to the next level, to make it to 10, and then from 10 to 6 figures and 6 to 7 and so on, right? I mean, there's always going to be a wall that you're going to have to break down. And hopefully you've got a good team and some resources and a community around you that's willing to help you get there.
Yep. I mean, you just said so many things when it comes to specific items that I could kind of unpack. You mentioned, too much in your own way. Sometimes we work with students. So oftentimes people are in their own way, dealing with perfectionism, procrastination, fear of putting themselves out there, et cetera. And that's one of the huge things that people absolutely need to overcome. The cycle of feeling like you need more resources, and so you don't take action because you need more resources, but it's not resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness usually, and you obviously are extremely resourceful, and you've gotten to a point where you are because you're resourceful, not because of resources. And all of those things I could spend 5-10 minutes unpacking, but absolutely love how you went ahead and unpacked that. And with that said, I mean, obviously you had the painful journey to get to where you are right now, right? And you tried a bunch of different models. You tried a bunch of different business models, from drop shipping to everything between. And you ended up kind of landing on affiliate marketing. And now you actually have your own product that we helped you kind of put together. And you came out here for a few days here, and that was an awesome time. But
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
what ultimately, led you to landing on affiliate marketing specifically? Why was that the business model that ended up kind of being the thing that allowed you to bridge the gap from where you were to where you needed to be and have that first initial breakthrough? And then just specifically, I know you said you took your success to the next level here with us. What are some things that allowed you to do that might help the audience replicate that same result?
Yeah, sure. No, so I mean, how did I land on affiliate marketing? I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a similar story with subtle differences for everybody, but essentially, it's like you tried everything else, and affiliate marketing was like probably the least sexy thing, the least attractive thing, because a lot of the times when you think about affiliate marketing, it's not. There's very little of you involved in there. A lot of people get for me anyways, like watching those infomercials growing up, I always wanted the limelight in a way of speaking, right? I wanted my own website and my own distribution machine and all these other hot buzzwords that come with things like drop shipping and e-commerce and all these other things. Not that they're bad, right? I might still delve one of those now that I got some money. I don't know, but affiliate marketing as a business model, though, I just found to be very, very powerful in that it was very simple and simplistic. And the way that it came about was that I kind of realized that business model through my own corporate career. I think I've told this story once or twice before, but basically, as a commercial banker working with a lot of my clients, if they needed something that I couldn't provide for them, I just made it a practice to try to refer them out to somebody who could do it. Another bank, maybe that had an appetite for the lending product they wanted, or if maybe they like to deal in their particular industry and we didn't. I had a network, and so I tried to try to partner them up with someone who could help them better their business. And I had a client come up to me and say, hey, I really appreciate all that. That's you're really quarterbacking this thing well for us. Are you getting paid? Are you getting any kind of kickback for that? And I thought, no, I'm not. But what if I could? Right. Yeah. Right. Well, that's what they say. They're like, why are you not? Why don't you have a deal? I'm like, well, we can't really do that. And then I was thinking, and then I coupled that with a couple clients telling me that you need to go ahead and go into business for yourself anyway. You're kind of they said you're doing the world a disservice by just being a corporate slave. And I thought, okay. So I put the two together and thought, does a model exist where you can get paid by just passing people off with good intentions to help them build a business? And it turned out that affiliate marketing was that for me. Affiliate marketing exists from the consumer standpoint, but I really like the idea of education, of empowering people. Next thing you know, I'm looking up affiliate networks that offered good coaching and business training. And that's what got me to SAN. And that's exactly what got me to the next level. Not only because we have an information product, but we have an information product that is coupled with an amazing community, which is very live, very engaged. And then just in terms of the resources here, especially when you start investing in some of the upper levels of mentorship packages like I have, everything is practically, I say practically, very simplistically, but very practically given and delivered to you on a silver platter, where it's like all you do is you have to plug in, and we tried our best to make it almost impossible for you to fail if you plug into the right model and stay consistent. That's what I found here.
Awesome. I mean, I love how you said, essentially, I think someone mentioned to you that you're doing the world a disservice through not stepping up and doing your own thing.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel with so many of our mentorship clients and pro students and everyone in between, people who are in their own way. And for one reason or another, not stepping into their own ability to get to the next level, which is within themselves. It's always within themselves. It's just for everyone on this call, we need you guys to step up and we need you guys to be successful, because all of you guys are doing a disservice, to the world essentially until you step up and accomplish success. And it's kind of more heavy talk than we usually do. And it's not necessarily the thing that a lot of people hear, but understand that when you guys step up and when you break through, the impact that you'll have, the lives that you'll change, the people that you'll empower, that ultimately, like Jason mentioned, is the most fulfilling part of the process. Because once you have, the money, once you have the resources, like, it's really cool for a month, and it's really cool for, the first 2 weeks you have your new car, you're really happy about the car. But then the thing that really kind of keeps you going, the thing that keeps you getting up in the morning, is giving back and is serving and helping people. And if you guys can step up and once again embrace the suck to get through it, to get to the next level, the world will absolutely be a better place, just like it is because Jason went through that process. And now he's here educating all of you guys and providing a ton of value. So I love how you mentioned that, Jason. And thank you for the kind words when it comes to SAN. We try our best. But so with that said, obviously we have affiliate marketing kind of the vehicle that got you to the point where you are, and you're branching off and you're doing your own thing now. I see your ads out there that we kind of crafted up here. I see your funnel, which I absolutely love. And with that said, I mean, obviously you're going to be a speaker at our Profit Nitro event that we're going to have here shortly. And just, from a straight up, much value as humanly possible, nothing left, no stone left unturned. What are a few things that are working really well for you right now? What are a few tactics that are allowing you to increase your sales, increase your profit, drive your bottom line, and at the end of the day, just grow your business fast in today's marketplace? Today's marketplace is very different than it was even just a year ago. And I'm super curious for what's working for you right now.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. What's working for me is kind of a new take on a traditional practice that I've seen success with in my last career. But again, taking your business seriously, I've kind of applied it here with the internet marketing, affiliate marketing twist that we do on it. And it is absolutely crushing it for me. And that is the old idea of, let me go ahead and tell you what I call it now. I just call it penetrating the influencer space. That's really just how I would do it. So if I were to be given a keynote topic, I would just talk about penetrating the influencer space, which is a two-pronged approach to the old classic style and method of relationship building for business. That really is just what it comes down to, is just good relationship building for business. And I'm thankful that it's something that I kind of recognized and started doing when I was just starting out as a measly affiliate. But I'm glad I did that back then, because now when I am no longer just an affiliate, now I have my own thing. Now I'm stepping into the influencer role with my own product and taking on my own audience and my own, my own following. It's allowed me to step in rather seamlessly and be recognized by a lot of good and big names that are helping me do just that. And what that is doing is offering, first of all, there's a lot of street cred that comes with it. It kind of like leverages other people's audiences and other people's way to be recognized in the marketplace. But it's a great supplement and a great complement to anything you're already doing. So for instance, obviously, like you mentioned, I've got some Facebook ads. Well, those who know Facebook know that Facebook ads are kind of a complicated thing, especially in recent light of the one of the big updates that they did recently. I mean, everyone's kind of trying to figure it out. I'm hoping you will figure it out and let me know what's going on and help me figure it out continually. I'm trusting that's going to happen. But, the thing that I have in place is working. I mean, Facebook is, we're getting leads, we're getting sales, and we have minimal return rates. It's wonderful. But then I'm also finding that with penetrating the influencer space, like I've been doing, the influencer marketplace, that has really bolstered my leads and sales and conversion rates as well, because it's that classic thing about not putting your eggs in just one basket. And so putting that into play has been absolutely astronomical. As far as what it is, again, it's a two-pronged approach. Number one is of course tapping into influencers, and then number two is becoming an influencer and really owning your attractive character, really owning your audience and establishing your own presence in the marketplace. And so you kind of you never get away from doing both things. But I started with just tapping in influencers and building relationships and reaching out to people. And the way that you do it is now, it's not like before when I was working in corporate America, where I was out door knocking, going on to businesses and trying to book appointments with the phone, and that old really hit the streets corporate grind. It's very, very tough. Now we have the internet, right? So now we don't have to knock on doors. Now we can prospect people with very tactful, non-spammy ways, in a way that edifies both parties and really just helps you conduct a very profitable launch. So that's what I've been doing.
Got it. So just to unpack a little bit more, well, firstly, everyone in the comments box, let us know with a quick yes if you guys are getting value. Type in #value if you guys are getting value. Jason's bringing the goods here. But so with this whole strategy, are we talking about, Instagram paid shout outs? Are we talking about email drops? What are we talking about when it comes to kind of penetrating the influencer space? Because I love the name, but also the step-by-step behind it. What does it look like specifically?
So it's a combination of pretty much everything you just said. I think because the thing is, there are different influencers like to reach the market through different mediums. So Instagram is probably one of the main ways, but then there's also email drops, and not just email drops in the sense of a solo ad to cold traffic, actually building an information a relationship with a trusted person who has an email list of their own audience. Basically, if you know anything about solo ad vendors, you know that solo ad vendors are not created equal, right? So some solo ad vendors, when I vet them and when I build a relationship with these guys, I graduate them from solo ad vendor to what I call a traffic partner. Because if you know anything, you know that they've got more than one list, right? They kind of have a bulk list, and then they got the special list, right? What I call the Glenn Geary leads.
Premium.
Shout out. Yeah, that's right. The premium, right? I call it the Glenn Geary leads. That's a reference to Glenn Geary, Glenn Ross, all you movie people out there. Classic movie watching. But those are good leads, right? But you don't get there just out of the cold. You have to build a relationship with these guys, and so it's that. But yeah, Instagram is definitely one of them. But there are also some people who just they'll do a drop on their YouTube channel if you're willing to reach out to them. So I've been doing a lot of the Instagram thing as of late. Interestingly enough, that's one of those things that I kind of got away from. Hardcore, but I've always done it. But it's one of those things that I remember drawing up. I drew upon this because it helped me crush a contest that we had back in the day, a couple of years ago when I first came on. I was brand new to the community, and I had just barely gone pro. And it was like the last dollar I had at that time in free cash. And I thought, all right, let me go ahead and step up. If I can, I'll go ahead and do it. And then after that, next thing I know, you announce this contest, right? And you're like, all right, let's go ahead and do this big sales contest. And I thought, I'm not even halfway through the training of the pro thing yet, but I got I hit the level, and if I'm up here competing with the rest of these people, I got the same resources. Why not, right? And so I hit it hard with the belief that I could, with the ammunition I was given in terms of the training. But then I used this specific strategy along with my initial strategy. And next thing I know, I graduated and finished in the top 5, only under those rotten scoundrels, Adam Shelton and Paulo the Money Man Barroso. So, and I just, man, and the fact is, I was in second place for the longest time until Adam passed me up and crushed us all. But I'll never forget how that got me to the finish line. I was like, man, I just got started. Next thing I know, I was a big name in the community. And I thought, so now that I'm doing my own thing, I thought, I bet that strategy still works. What if I go ahead and recultivate some of those relationships and start doing that thing again? So I started doing the Instagram shout out form of the influencer marketing, and it's been wonderful. But it has led to other things though too. There are people, I have a YouTube channel. There are other YouTube enthusiasts and YouTube channel holders out there that I'm starting to connect with. I remember you and I were at your house, and remember that, like, we were wondering about all of a sudden how I just saw this. I had this big hit in that one video that just crushed it. I mean, stuff just happens when you build relationships with these people and give and serve, unselfishly. It's kind of amazing, right? There's a synergy that takes place. But yeah, it's awesome. I enjoy doing it, and now people are asking me for the same type of thing. People are reaching out to me to name drop them, and it's kind of a humbling feeling. It's a weird feeling to think that now people are looking to you to give them a little bit of a hand up.
It comes full circle. I've been there, and it's a cool feeling. At the same time, there's a responsibility with it, and
right,
the place is happy to have you. I mean, so what's really cool about the strategy, as I kind of think about it, is essentially it's a way to get high quality buyer traffic, high quality leads. At the same time, it kind of forces you to network. So one of the things that, for me at least, as an introvert, as someone who, if I can, I'll just sit behind the computer all day and do my thing and write copy and create ads and all that. But I don't necessarily get out there and talk to people the way I should, right? We're putting some systems in place in order to force me to do that. But you kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and forcing yourself to network, getting high quality partners, creating synergy for future relationships. And what's really nice about this strategy is that you're not necessarily dependent on ad platforms who update their iOS stuff, and you're left in the dark very quickly. You don't necessarily have, you mentioned not, putting all your eggs in one basket. For everyone, when it comes to solo ads, Facebook, whatever traffic medium you're using, never put all your eggs in one basket, right? So I have a feeling there's some legwork and some groundwork that goes into finding the right people. But then after you do it, you're left with a really good spot of having people you can tap into, having relationships, having a network, being able to work off each other with that network, get traffic. And then also at the same time with Instagram, what's really cool is you kind of have paid traffic coming in if you do it correctly, because you're paying them for drops, if I understand correctly. But also you're building up your organic following at the exact same time as 100%. A natural byproduct. Which is awesome.
Absolutely.
So I love the strategy. I should get in the strategy. I might hire you for coaching. But from like a 30,000 foot view, what are a few of the things you look for in a profile or a partner when you're getting started and you say, all right, I need to find someone for the next Instagram drop? What are you looking for in order to qualify someone as someone who you should buy from?
Sure. So obviously, first and foremost, you gotta play in the same playground, right? It doesn't make sense if you're going to look for the right playmates. You got to make sure you're playing in the same playground. So don't go play with someone who's, in a playground in another school. So, not every influencer is created equally. You got some people that are, that are beauty blogger type deals where they're really good at beauty. You got some folks who are big into health and wellness. You got some folks who are in the make money space and, success and entrepreneurship mindset. And then you got folks who are just kind of generalists, in which case you really need to take a deeper dive look into what they do and who makes up their audience. But that's where I would start is, are they in my similar space or in a space connected, very closely to it? Very much around it. So I mentioned like entrepreneurship and mindset and things like that. A lot of the times those are entrepreneurial people who are looking for a side gig or wanting to supplement what they're currently doing. So there's definitely some potential there. But then the next thing is just like you're vetting, you gave us a lot of great information in some of our core material as far as selecting traffic sources with regards to solo ad vendors and something. There's a very similar model there in terms of just figuring out what space the person's in and who their audience makes up. So things like geography are important, so I will vet these people as to where most of their reactions are coming from for their posts and their stories. Just go ahead and show me a screenshot of where your insights are coming from. And the insights will tell you the geography. They'll tell you what countries. Obviously, we're looking for tier 1 or better, tier 1 or similar. And we're looking for mostly English speaking, and down to the age demographics, right? They really, all of that stuff can be reflected. So we're looking at things like that. And then we're also looking at the responsiveness of their following and their page, because that's what you're doing. You're trying to build your own responsiveness. You're trying to build your own page and essentially siphon off some of their audience to be yours if there's a good fit and if you can provide value. So if they're not being receptive or reactive to them, right? If I'm not engaging with them, then why should I expect them to engage with me? So, just things like that, and then obviously you can also tap into the savvy of the individual influencer. So if they've done this before, do they have any insight as to their own audience as far as the best time to post, the best time for stories, the best time to engage? If they're posting at 3:00 in the morning, that's the only person that's benefiting is someone in India, right? Realistically, that's not anyone over here. So, little things like that are telltale signs. But the more that I'm doing this, I'm starting to create my own little cheat sheet checklist. Maybe I'll share that at the event. What do you think?
Well, what does the audience think? Let me know in the comments box. Do you guys want to learn his cheat sheet or have his cheat sheet for, once again, selecting the right vendors? And it sounds actually very kind of similar principle-wise from a 30,000-foot view, kind of just like the vendor selection process with solo ads, but you're actually literally asking them for insights on their channels, looking for engagement on their channels, making sure they not only have a following, but also have a reactive, engaged following. And again, all things that I would do too. Right on. Yes. We have yeses flying in. And awesome. Thank you, guys. And maybe we'll get Jason to go ahead and share that. I would love to have it. So Jason, let's say yes, absolutely. But and I want to point out
together.
What's that?
So I'll put together a couple extra goodies for you. I've got a cheat sheet checklist thing, and then I also have a vendor tracker of sorts, like a good influencer page tracker, and that kind of thing, with just a little Excel spreadsheet. Gives you some metrics to kind of monitor over time. Yeah, I'm sure we could figure something out for our people.
There we go. Hey, you guys heard it first. So go ahead and type in "I heard it" in the chat box, and then we can go ahead and hold them accountable at the event. But with that said, love it. Thank you, brother. And I mean, from a 30,000-foot view, guys, what's awesome about what Jason's doing is essentially he's got Instagram, he's got Facebook. Both are very tactical when it comes to learning how to do it, learning how to go through it, right? Lots of people get stuck in the, refined tactics, step 1, step 2, etc. But then also from a 30,000-foot view, he has in mind the fact that he needs high quality traffic, he needs the right message to market match, and he needs diversification within his traffic strategies, right? And so if you can kind of keep the 30,000-foot view of I need the right message to market match, I need diversification to decrease my risk of kind of single point of failure, while at the same time being able to execute upon very tactical items that he's executing upon on Facebook and then on Instagram, that ultimately is what builds a profitable business, but also builds a business that gives you a long-term foundation. Because I know you guys have probably seen there are millions of people, it seems like, in the online world who are on the yo-yo, here today, gone tomorrow. They did really good in one launch, then you never hear about them again. They get one tactic dialed in and then they're done. And oftentimes I also kind of intentionally tell people not to focus too much on tactics, because if they do focus too much on tactics, it leads to them getting really good at one thing, which leads to them being essentially one update away from being out of business, right? And so you have to be aware that always diversify, become a master of tactics, but also become a master of strategy. Set yourself up for the long-term success instead of just short-term bursts. And I promise you, you will sleep better at night. And that goes for every aspect of business. So, Jason, love that you said that, and just wanted to expand upon it, because I've been in that spot one too many times where I go, holy crap, I should have put more than one failure kind of, risk mitigation point in place. And then I'm stuck in a hard place. So love that you're doing that too, man. So, I mean, obviously you got a ton going on. I know you're super busy, and you're not only coming out here tonight, but you're also going to be coming out for our event, the Profit Nitro event, where we're going to be sharing with people the fastest path to go from $0 to $10,000 per month if you had to start all over again from scratch. And I know we're kind of getting little bits and pieces of what you might share at the upcoming event right now, but not necessarily tactically, but more from a, if it is a tactic, that's fine, but also from a transformational personal development, relationship, networking perspective, all of those included. I know in my own personal journey, live events have been absolutely transformational and have helped me get to the next level each and every single time that I go to an event. You're probably going to it. I just bought my ticket for Funnel Hacking Live coming up end of September. I still go to events because, once again, I know the power behind them. And I mean, can you just take a few minutes and expand upon from, being that junkie who's staying up late at night, watching infomercials, wanting to buy everything with your dad's credit card, to where you are right now? How many events have you been to, and what has the impact, along the way on your journey been through getting to live events?
Sure. No, I mean, the short answer is that live events are absolutely key. Absolutely key. And I've been to a ton of live events. When I say live events, I think we should probably add some distinction there, because there's like the pre-live event, which is meant to like sell something, in the traditional hotel room space before the big online march, right? They come to your town and they show you. And I've been to a million right now. Yeah, I've been to a million of those where they came in and they shared like a teensy bit of value. Either in there was the e-commerce thing, and of course the main company that the main industry that does that is real estate investing, and I bought hook, line, and sinker and all that, and I've made all my money back. But the key is really getting to these live events, and more specifically, the ones that are transparent, that are led with value, and really encumbered with value, especially, when you consider our live events. That one thing that I really love, and the events like this, are that, there's no, like, every again, the right kind of event, that not the ones where literally every speaker is selling their own garbage, right? There's like selling from the stage, and just, I guess there's a time and place. I guess I'm not really against that too much, but it's, there's a conclusive and kind of just a cohesive drive and derivative that we're just really trying to impact and benefit our people. And then, of course, we'll offer something along the lines that'll help them get to the next level. But it's after that baseline has been established in a big, big way. So the events are absolutely key. I've been to, if we count I make it a point. The one that you just mentioned, I'll be there. We'll run in there, and I think we got a couple people in our community going to show up for that as well. Just again, because they're so key in developing yourself, and when you can put together a huge, a heavy hitters list of just really valuable people who are willing to share their successes, not talk about theory, not talk about conjecture, but stuff that they're actually doing, stuff like we're sharing here. They can back it up with screenshots that are laden with disclaimers, of course, but they're showing what they're doing. That's kind of where it's at. They're showing what's working and not holding back. I mean, that's really the key for it. On top of that, the events, just going back with the whole theme of this conversation tonight, we're talking about building relationships that help you in your business later on. That happens at an event. I don't think anything spurs that more than an event, because you're already identifying the like-mindedness. You're already identifying the similar interests. And interestingly enough, I've been to many to events before that have paid this off in dividends for me. One in particular was, I decided to go to an event, and I played all out, as we say, and I was able to connect with someone who would become a rather large influencer in the space, a really important person who's spoken on stages and done very well, to the point where, and maybe a year or so after that initial meeting and maintaining that relationship, we had another contest in SAN. SAN's just full of contests, apparently. Right? And that's a good thing, really. We promote healthy competition because it forces growth and it forces successes to show up and come out, right? So you had another, I don't know if you remember this, it was like a year and a half ago. It was after the sales contest. We did one where we had this big push where we were trying to get people to get comfortable on video. Do you remember that? It's like, okay, get out there and cut a video. You know, you need to be doing lives. You need to be doing it. And we offered a prize, a cash prize, and a couple of different prizes for submitting the best review of SAN. Had to be, you know, good, but it was a really good thing. Anyways, and we had to organize votes for it, right? So I remember getting on there. And I think I won second place in that contest, on that video contest. But the reason I did it is not because I had a huge following, because I didn't at that time, but because I had built that relationship with that influencer that I met at the event. I called her up and messaged her online. Then I called her up and I said, hey, I know you're in the video marketing space. Guess what I'm involved in right now? A video marketing contest for a big internet marketing company. I said, it would mean the world to me if you would just go in there and click and vote for me. And I was just after a single vote. So of course I called my mom. I like logged into her account and clicked on and voted for myself through her account, called my sister, called my dog, you know what I mean? Like I'm scrounging for votes here. So I called her up and I said, you know, it would mean the world if you could do that. If not, I understand you're busy. You're probably not going to get this message. Don't worry about it. She said, Jason, no problem. So not only did she go and submit a vote, but she got her audience to do it as well. And that's what got me to second place, second only to, I forgot who I lost out to. But again, it just goes to show you the power of networking, the power of building relationships, and henceforth the power of live events. All of that came because I stepped up, spent the money, and went to a live event. And if we're being honest, the event that we're talking about here, people don't even need to spend money to go to. Like, what is it? A deposit to hold a seat, and we're refunding it to them? I mean, it's insane. So that's a long way to answer your question, but man, you got to have events. I will go to events until I'm crippled. All right.
Awesome. No, I love it. I mean, one thing you said is, or one kind of thing I want to expand upon is, one of the distinctions between entrepreneurs and people who aren't entrepreneurs is that entrepreneurs always look for the path where they can compress time. And essentially how I look at a live event is, I'm going to get in a room with, 30 speakers, however many they are, maybe 10 speakers, if they're good speakers, etc. And I'm going to learn exactly what's working for them right now over the course of 2 days versus, buying the course, going through one module on Monday, going through the next module on Friday. We all know how it is. Sometimes you go through it really quick. Sometimes you go through it really slow. And there's just kind of no accountability to completing it, and then also kind of fully understanding it. And in the live event environment, you get to learn from all the best of the best if it's a good event, which we always host good events, at least in my opinion. My customers tell me that too. And then from there, you get the full kind of package right there. You get your questions answered. You have, experts to kind of lean on during the event if there's something that isn't clear, all of which are different elements that allow you to take the step that the entrepreneur takes in compressing time. And as my mentor always told me, look, if I want to get the result that the entrepreneur has, I need to do the thing the entrepreneur is going to do. And as a result, I'll get the result. Right? It's like we talked about last week with Keisha. It's the be, do, have paradigm. You got to be the certain way, do the certain thing, get the certain result. And until you can embrace that, if you're constantly looking to get the result of the entrepreneur, looking at Jason, looking at myself, looking at Keisha, looking at entrepreneurs, wishing that you had their results without acting like the entrepreneur acts, you're going to be stuck in that cycle where there's that disconnect, and that's not the place to be, right? And so once again, I mean, Jason, you bring a ton of value with everything you do, man, and I truly do appreciate all the value you bring to the community here. We have 106 people on here with us, so those emails got out after all. We were having some tech issues right as we hopped on at the call here, but what would it be without some suspense? And with that said, with these 106 people on here, Jason, I know they're getting a ton of value. Guys, let us know in the comment section. Are you getting a ton of value? What do you have for closing words or more content or just anything that you'd like to share with these 100 people on here live with us, Jason?
Obviously, look, I want you guys to show up to the event. And I wouldn't say that if it didn't mean that should, because again, the example I just gave you, I mean, I'd like to think that that stuff is going to happen for me and for anyone else many, many times over. On top of that, I mean, we got a great lineup of people, right? Dirk and Mural, and I mean, sharing, I mean, and they actually specialize in Facebook, crying out loud. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. You know what I mean? I think we all do. But I mean, yeah, it's true. I mean, there's just a ton of people who are doing it. And now when I think about, you know, the life that I have now, where I'm these relationships that I'm forging with people from our community, from our events, they're not just online, right? And if you follow me on my social media and my stories, you see I'm hooking up with a lot of people, you know, from our community. We're having lunch, we're meeting, we're defeating the depression of the pandemic. I mean, it's just amazing that really just takes place. Of course, you know me, I've been traveling throughout the pandemic anyways, because I'm kind of crazy like that. But no, it's great, man. I just say, and then like back to your point earlier about stepping up, really stepping up and playing all out. One thing that I'll say is that if you step up, if you play all out and you shine, which anyone can do, I firmly believe that with our community, with our training, if you're consistent and if you shine, you'll be recognized for it. And I'm not saying that you should seek recognition. I certainly don't and did it. But if you step up and you stand out, someone's going to notice. And who knows, you might be on that stage later. You might be asked and elevated to teach and to coach, and not a thing for status. That's certainly not for me, but I really enjoy imparting. I don't have all the answers, but I'm happy to show people what I'm doing if it's working, you know? So I think you have the greatest chance here in comparison to anywhere to step up and be someone, be successful, and be recognized for being awesome. That's what I'll have to say about it.
Awesome. Hey, I can't say it any better. I'm not going to try to say it any better. All I'll say is that I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Everyone, let us know in the comments box. Did you guys get value? If you watched us on the replay, let us know in the comment section below this video if you guys got value. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell icon notification button. We'll be doing more interviews just like this with our future speaker lineup. And with that said, Jason, truly do appreciate you coming out. Thanks, guys. Hope everyone has an amazing night. And until next time, over and out. Later, guys.